Hi Joseph Muima, you did not clock in today. Therefore, you cannot clock out. Hi Mark Oluwafofami, you did not clock in today. Therefore, you cannot clock out. Hi Joseph Muima, you have successfully clocked in at 7:44 a.m. Have a fantastic day. Hi Mark Oluwafor for me, you did not clock in today. Therefore, you cannot clock out. Hi Joseph Muima, you have successfully clocked out at 5:25 p.m. See you tomorrow. Hi Mark Oluwafor for me, you did not clock in today. Therefore, you cannot clock out. Unknown staff. Use correct finger for clock out.